A boy is lying on the floor, when suddenly the wardrobe next to him starts shaking violently. Kevin opens the door out of curiosity and finds that the space beyond has transformed into a beach. A pair of ancient soldiers are chasing down a warrior. The boy assumes it's a film crew shooting a scene until he sees arrows flying straight at him. He scrambles back into the wardrobe, crying and screaming. But the warrior who was being chased follows him right inside. Looking at the stranger's bizarre outfit, Kevin figures he must be a Viking warrior, and immediately fires off a string of questions. But the man just shakes his head. When the wardrobe door opens again, the scene inside has changed to a forest. The Viking is about to board a ship and leave. Kevin rushes back to his room, eager to follow, only to smack his head right into the wardrobe door. His parents think the kid is seriously losing it. They tell him to stop obsessing over things from the past. But Kevin is absolutely certain that what happened was real. And sure enough, when night falls, that wardrobe door swings open once again. This time, 5 shady-looking characters creep out. Kevin musters up the courage to flip on the light. Their outfits are bizarre, they definitely don't look like they belong to this era. Once the group realizes Kevin is just a kid, their initial panic vanishes instantly. They pull out a strange map and explain that his room happens to sit right on top of a time portal. They suggest he move out as soon as possible. But the moment those words leave their lips, the wardrobe door bursts open again. A massive head appears in a blinding flash of light, and everyone screams, "God has found them!" The black kid points out to the big guy that there's another exit behind him. The big guy shoves hard, and a long tunnel stretches out before them. Hearing the giant head roar, "Give me back my map!" No one wastes a second. They dive straight into the portal. Kevin leaps in right after them. The next thing they know, they're standing on the deck of a ship. Kevin fights off the nausea and looks around. Seeing the warships and their flags, he immediately determines this is 1810, the historic battle where the British fleet hunted down pirates. No sooner has he said it than cannonballs come screaming through the air. The battle has begun without warning. Everyone scrambles below deck. The black guy holds up the map and says the nearest portal is 50 miles away. Penelope, the group's leader, proudly announces that this is no ordinary map. It charts an interconnected network of time portals that lets them travel across different dimensions of time and space. Just then, an elegantly dressed Asian woman appears. Kevin recognizes her immediately. This is none other than the legendary pirate queen, Jung Esau. Too bad he can't understand a word she's saying. But the moment Kevin puts on a small felt hat, he suddenly understands everything. Learning that her fleet is about to be surrounded by warships from multiple nations, Kevin advises the pirate queen to change course and retreat because that's exactly what the history books say happened. Seeing how confident the boy is, Jung Esau orders a change of heading right away. And just as Kevin predicted, they successfully shake off the pursuing fleets. Better yet, they happen to be close to the next time portal. Jung Esau is convinced Kevin has the gift of prophecy and wants him to stay on as her strategist. But Penelope steps in, grabs Kevin, and jumps straight into the portal with him. In the blink of an eye, they find themselves on a vast open plain. Penelope can barely contain herself and asks Kevin, "Since you can predict the future, do you know where any treasure is buried?" When Kevin just keeps shaking his head, her expression sours immediately, and she announces they're sending him back. But then the boy's jaw drops. He's staring at Stonehenge, still under construction. To Kevin, this is the greatest treasure of all. The mysteries surrounding it have baffled people for over 4,000 years. He rushes over to the construction site and asks the foreman, "Is Stonehenge meant to track the movement of the stars?" The man looks completely baffled. Turns out, the whole reason he's building Stonehenge is just to drum up business for his little shop. Kevin is utterly disappointed. Since the next time portal won't open until tomorrow, Penelope decides they'll camp out on the plains for the night. Kevin is dying to know who these people really are. It turns out they used to work for God himself. One day, they teamed up and stole his most prized possession, the cosmic map. So now they're on the run from God while using the map to hop through time and space, determined to steal the most valuable treasures in history. The leader's name is Penelope. The short woman is called Judy, supposedly a spiritual master who can read people's minds. The rest of the crew are Alto, a master of disguise, Vijay, the map analysis expert, and Bittner, the strongman. Kevin worries about what'll happen if God catches them, but they couldn't care less. Without the cosmic map, nobody can find them. Meanwhile, deep in the underworld, in a dark palace, the ruler of hell sits on his throne. When he learns that God's cosmic blueprint has been stolen, his energy surges. He could never take the map from God directly, but dealing with a handful of petty thieves? That he can handle. Once the cosmic map is in his hands, he'll reshape the entire world into a hellish paradise. He summons one of his top lieutenants and orders him to travel to Kevin's house in 2024, disguise himself as a rock, and wait for the right moment. The mission, seize the legendary cosmic map at all costs. Back with our crew, Kevin wakes up to find a strange new portal already open. Penelope rallies the troops and calls everyone to the next stop. This time, they're after a priceless horse. In an instant, they arrive at a mountain range. Kevin stares into the distance in disbelief. They've landed at the city of Troy. It clicks immediately. These thieves are actually planning to steal the legendary Trojan horse. But they quickly have second thoughts. Every picture they've seen of it was in history books. They had no idea the thing would be this enormous. While they're debating whether to chop it into pieces and haul it away, a door swings open at the base of the horse. A soldier steps out and tells them to keep it down. Kevin immediately asks if they can go inside for a look, and surprisingly, the soldier agrees. The soldiers hiding inside are bursting with pride. They declare the horse is the greatest work of art ever made. Those foolish enemies will definitely fall for it and wheel them right into the city. But when a patrol spots the horse, their first instinct is to burn it because the whole thing is way too suspicious. Everyone inside breaks into a cold sweat. But at the last second, a general sees the flames and orders them put out immediately. He can't bear to destroy such a beautiful piece of art. Suddenly, a woman appears on the city walls, shouting that this horse will bring about the fall of Troy. But the general ignores her ramblings and orders his men to drag the horse inside the city at once. Late that night, Kevin sneaks out of the horse for some fresh air. That same woman happens to walk by. He learns her name is Cassandra, and it hits him. She's the legendary prophetess from the myths. Cassandra is thrilled, as if she's finally found someone who understands her. But no one in this city believes a word she says. She tells Kevin that he and the thieves will jump off a towering cliff and walk away without a scratch. They'll visit ancient landmarks, see creatures long extinct, and even save the universe. Now Kevin finally understands why nobody in the city believes Cassandra. Before long, the crew has finished their heists. But their haul turns out to be nothing but bases, every single one. Kevin races after them and leaps into the time portal. They land in a frozen wasteland. Penelope declares this must be Kevin's home and tells him to go reunite with his family. Kevin protests, this is clearly the Ice Age. He points at two cavemen in a tent and insists they are not his parents. Seeing Kevin shivering uncontrollably, the crew finally softens up. They agree to stop making up excuses to ditch him. But what they don't notice is a massive boulder in the snow that suddenly opens its eyes. Next, the crew lands in a lush, dense forest. This time, they've arrived in the legendary era of the ancient Maya. Hearing that this civilization is incredibly advanced, meaning there must be plenty of valuable loot, Penelope's eyes light up. She rallies the team to move out. Kevin quickly stops them and warns about the Maya. According to the history books, they practiced human sacrifice. Penelope scoffs, the person who could catch them hasn't been born yet. And the very next second, they're surrounded by armed Mayan warriors. Everyone panics, thinking they're done for. But the Maya turn out to be incredibly welcoming. They offer fresh fruits and vegetables and even insist on taking them to meet the queen. The crew is stunned. This is nothing like a human sacrifice setup. The Mayan queen is as warm and friendly as the nice lady next door. She's prepared a lavish feast for everyone. Kevin speaks up, warning them they shouldn't stay long. But then Penelope brings exciting news, the queen has offered to show them the royal treasury. Kevin is sure it's a trap. But Penelope's head is already swimming with visions of treasure, and there's no talking sense into her. After the meal, they follow the guards to a hidden chamber. The Mayan queen has been waiting for them. Like a dedicated tour guide, she introduces her collection piece by piece. Kevin's sharp eyes catch Penelope pocketing a jade carving. He immediately tells her to put it back. He explains that the Maya would fatten up their sacrificial victims first, then dress them in elaborate clothing before sending them to the top of the temple. Penelope dismisses it as nonsense. But the very next moment, guards arrive carrying ornate outfits, announcing they'll be escorted to the top of the temple. Penelope's legs nearly give out. She finally believes Kevin. She hastily says goodbye to the queen and leads everyone out of the chamber. The crew breaks into a full sprint. But up ahead, a sheer cliff with a bottomless drop. While they're still figuring out how to get across, the queen's guards close in behind them. They end up being brought to the top of the temple after all. And when they see the queen holding a blade, their fear goes through the roof. Alto, the master of disguise, launches into a performance, but he can't keep it up for long. The queen looks amused and a little exasperated. She just invited them up here to eat fruit and watch the sunset together. Penelope asks nervously, "You're not going to sacrifice us?" Kevin steps forward and explains that the history books passed down through the ages all say otherwise. The queen has an aha moment. Those history books were written by the victors, she says, they made it all up. She has no interest in senseless killing except when it comes to thieves who steal things. Penelope and the others shake their heads frantically. They would never do such a thing. But their nervous expressions are so obvious that even the young prince picks up on it. He immediately calls his guards and orders them to search everyone's bags. Kevin is a nervous wreck, terrified that Penelope's crew stole something. But luckily, their bags are completely empty except for a single piece of fresh fruit. With the misunderstanding cleared up, everyone says their goodbyes. But the time portal here happens to be at the bottom of a towering cliff. Kevin remembers Cassandra's prophecy. Without hesitation, he leads everyone over the edge. The next moment, they're back in Kevin's bedroom. Penelope decides it's time to say goodbye. After all, Kevin has his own life to live. Downstairs, his parents assume he's talking to himself again and yell at him to go to sleep. But then a demon's head appears outside the window. A blazing red beam of light shoots out. Kevin hears the commotion and rushes downstairs only to find his parents have been turned to stone. The crew recognizes it immediately, Hell's demon has come for them. They open a time portal without a second thought. And Kevin makes a decision of his own. He's going back in time to save his parents. Due to copyright restrictions, that's all we can show you today. This is the 2024 fantasy series Time Bandits. If you're interested, go check out the original show.